Pity about the uncle, wasn't it?
Wasn't it? Were you and the professor good friends?
I was about to ask you that. No, I wasn't. Not really. You?
No. Correspondence. Telephone, that's about it.
Interesting experiment he was working on, no? A weather machine? How magnificent. Do I understand that it's missing?
So they say. I'm not really up on it, unfortunately.
Yes, of course. Exactly the same with me. Nevertheless, I was intrigued by it, or rather, by the potential of the device.
Right. The economic advantages to mankind.
Oh, of course, that. And heaven forbid, its possible uses to our detriment.
Detriment? Really?
It is a dehydrator, after all, isn't it? I suppose if it fell into the wrong hands, it could be used to alter climate. Say, to dry out the air masses over Southeast Asia. To cut off rice production to 800 million Asiatics.
It would give certain economic leverage.
Horrendous thought. There's also another paralyzing possibility. Its use directly on humankind.
People? Use it on people, Mr. Clausen?
Perhaps on a key group. Say the Pentagon. Kremlin. What effect do you think the dehydrator would have on the human body, Mr. Sloane?
I couldn't guess. It's too big a reach.
Oh, come, sir. One can surmise, cannot one? Cannot one theorize, Mr. Sloane?
No, Mr. Clausen. One cannot.
Talk. It's late, sir. Far too late for theories. I apologize for not considering the hour. I do hope you'll forgive me. Mr. Sloane will retire now. Sleep well, sir. My house is your house.
Good night, Mr. Clausen. We'll pick it up in the morning.
I believe everything is in order. Your luggage has been unpacked and put away. The bath is drawn. And of course, you will remember the control panel is next to the bed.
Not bad. The phone. I don't see a phone.
Mr. Clausen's guests usually prefer the privacy, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. D.R. Sloane, for the director. I may have some trouble getting this to you. Mr. Clausen and I are doing the spider and the fly number. The only trouble is we're playing in Clausen's web. Clausen's being as cagey as hell, but he's our man. He knows I know, and he seems to like it that way. Clausen's definitely tied in with one of the people from the weather cannon. Maybe Sabina or Chrissy, but I think it's Armin Drake. Now, one of them tagged me to Desert Wells. But it was Armin Drake that passed on the invitation from our spider. So I guess what I'm going to have to do is just stick in here until I can figure out Clausen's game and track the dehydrator. Or it tracks me.
Ah, you look most comfortable, Mr. Sloane. A good fire, a drink. Excellent. Pardon me for startling you. Perhaps I should have mentioned that the television is closed circuit. I would assume that you switched it on for diversion, however, not for discussion. So may I suggest that you press button number 7 on your console? It opens the door. I guarantee you'll be pleased.
Mr. Clausen, I've read Lady or the Tiger, too. I'll play this hand, thanks.
You mistrust me? Sir, if there's a lack of trust here, it will be on my part, not yours. My sources of information tell me that your father, Thomas R. Sloane II, was quite likely one of the most able and loyal counter-espionage agents this government has ever known. Interestingly enough, he was also an art historian and dealer. The coincidence impresses me.
Because we happen to be in the same business?
Because you are here, sir. And because the Galileo papers are not. They were destroyed with the Belgian archives in 1945. A shocking lack of culture, no. And now I have some business details to conclude, so I'll ring off. Good night. And do try pushing button number 7.
Oh. Do I get a blindfold and a cigarette first? Is this a summary execution or an invitation in for a drink, Mr. Sloane?
Do you have a telephone in your room?
No. Was that a prerequisite?
Faint hope. Come on in.
Thank you. Comfortable house, don't you think? Lovely guest rooms.
Reminds me more of Alcatraz with upgraded carpeting.
You think we're prisoners?
Well, on the other side of that patio wall, there are dogs, guards, electric fences.
But in here, there's a nice fire, soft light.
You know, and a real terrific set of controls on that panel there. Chocolate.
What?
Helicopter. Same thing Clausen used to airlift the dehydrator out of Desert Wells. Oh, boy. If you're on Clausen's payroll, I hope you got your severance pay up front.
Clausen's payroll. I report to Washington just like you.